3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? What is going on? Welcome back to your number one stop shop for all things Southwest ISD athletics. This is the Scoreboard Podcast, your place for all things Southwest ISD. And as always, I am here with my tag team partner, your athletic director, Mr. Peter Wagner. How we doing, man?
How you doing?
Doing well.
All right?
I'm doing well. You know, we had a nice little turkey break. How'd you enjoy your Thanksgiving?
I enjoyed it great. My question to you is,
why do we have to start like this?
My question to you is like, was there some depression in your Thanksgiving? I mean, your football holidays were rough. I mean,
all over the place.
Your Red Raiders
Got
were
smashed.
smashed.
Yeah.
I mean, hurtful.
Yeah. My Vikings did not
Your
look great.
Vikings have come back to earth.
However, I'm getting my master's at Alabama, and the Iron Bowl was a fun time.
You're
you know what I mean? I get
such
to
a bandwagon
I have
jumper.
to do what I got to do to make sure my mental health is
You know what?
healthy.
Two things about that game.
Sure.
Number one is Alabama.
Yeah.
Miracle.
Yep.
And obviously, the New Mexico State Aggies need to be in the college football playoff because they beat Auburn by at least 3 touchdowns.
I like your math.
So
Unfortunately,
that shout out goes to Ronnie Molina and all you Alabama fans out there.
Yeah. Yep. Fair. 2 things. 1, don't care. 2, roll tide. Alrighty. So
3, Packers 2-0. 2-0 Packers.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. But the break went by quick, man. It felt very, very fast. But overall, we are happy to be back. Happy to be back in the saddle for athletics. We have new turf fields, man.
Coming on. Should be done before Christmas break.
Yep.
We got the Southwest ones are about done.
Yep.
Legacy softball is almost done. And then just finishing up, had to do some chemistry work on the on the baseball field.
You did the chemistry work?
I did not.
I was like, those baseball
My
fields
wife
are not
was a chemistry teacher. That's how I got through chemistry in college.
That's what I'm wow.
Yes,
now
sir.
It all comes out years later.
Tutoring.
I like it. That's a power
Be
couple
proactive.
right there. We also have basketball. Soccer's kicking off here in a bit, so our boy Chief Palomo's
He's already knocking down the door.
I
think he might be outside.
Talk about soccer, and so we have soccer and basketball kicking off. Talk about the excitement surrounding those two sports.
So basketball is really off to a great start. The Dragons are still undefeated.
Yep.
You know, they're kind of like fly slamma jamma. You know, they throwing alley oops, all that kind of stuff. But had a big game in overtime against Central Catholic. Got a W there. They're on the road a couple of times. I think their average margin of victory besides that Central Catholic game is somewhere in like 25 points.
Okay.
And everything.
Nice.
But
which
Titans,
is also the average margin of loss for the San Antonio Spurs.
Correct.
So fair.
Or the average margin of seconds lost when you run a race.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But then the Titans are doing well too, boys and girls.
Nice.
Girls got a huge win last night over Jefferson. I think at one point it was 57-17 or something like that.
Wow.
The girls got the Dragon girls basketball team got a win over Uvalde last night by double digits. The boys went to Eagle Pass, the Dragons, and got a I think it was a 7-point win or a 14-point win, I think, actually, over Eagle Pass. Big win on a long trip. And then on Monday night, the Titan boys basketball team got a 8-point win over Bandera.
Nice.
And they've been playing a pretty rough schedule. They were in the Northside tournament. Went 2-3 in the Northside tournament. We're down to Reagan by about 4 points. Lost 2, but then beat Medina Valley. And beat another team. They went 2-3 in a really tough tournament. So big things expected from all 4 programs. You know, you got the girls who are on the come up, working to get into that playoff mix, and then you got the boys, both boys teams, working to return to the playoffs this year, and high expectations at both schools.
Yeah.
You know, so pretty exciting basketball season's coming up.
That's exciting, man. You know, basketball season as a whole. There's a lot of games to get through. There's a lot of different tournaments. There's a lot of just the ups and downs of that season can be tough for student athletes. So you definitely want to give a shout out.
Yeah, and multiple Express News game balls.
Nice.
Lily Covarrubias at Southwest got a
look at you, man.
Like that rolling the R's.
You've been here for
a
while.
That's
for
twice.
Sure. That's twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Covarrubias.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you're also getting tutoring for reading with Ms. Wagner, but you're doing great. You know
Hooked on phonics, baby.
You're doing solid this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, and then Josiah McDonald scored him a game ball for a 27.14 rebounds and 2.5. Or I don't think you get 2.5 assists in actual basketball, but
you're giving betting
I'm
trends.
I'm the over-unders? Taking the over/under on 2.5 assists. But,
that's awesome.
But yeah, both of them got game balls, and so big things there. And then finally got the Southwest ISD basketball tournament coming up, starting on Thursday at Legacy, and then Friday and Saturday at Southwest.
Nice.
Big time competition coming there.
Yeah.
You know, we got Fort Bend, Dulles. We got teams coming from the Metroplex, teams coming from Austin and the Valley and all that kind of stuff. And so big time excited about a lot of basketball coming up this weekend.
Yep.
And got a video board going up. We got video boards going up next week.
Things are happening.
Big old. We got turf. And then you got we're going to put up 9 video boards. We're going to have almost twice as many video boards in our district than any district in the state of Texas.
Wow.
Coming up by the end of.
That's awesome.
By the first week in January. So we're going to have some pretty neat things for our kids to really promote them and to do some great things for those guys.
I love that, man. So talk to me a little bit before we get into, we have a few special guests, but before we get into that, talk to me as athletic director. You mentioned 2 game balls in basketball. We have soccer that's constantly getting recognition across the state. You got football where you had multiple different awards going on and also state recognitions going on. Talk to us about
top 10 finishes in cross country, all kinds of stuff.
As it stands right now, right? We have district championships in almost every sport going into things. We're moving the
I don't know about every sport.
Right,
district championships don't come along.
I understand.
Like they're kind of like wins for Texas Tech against Texas.
Fair enough. I have zero rebuttal there. But overall, we're seeing district championships, right, on both sides of the schools.
Yep.
Talk to us as athletic director. Are you surprised by the notoriety, by the awards, by the recognition that Southwest ISD is getting, or did you kind of expect this going into this season now that we're kind of halfway through?
I don't know that you ever expect it, but I think that when you hire great coaches and you have great kids, you know, that work on developing great habits that win championships and bring success in life and on the like today on the court. You know, that those things happen, but they're a result of a lot of smaller things that people don't see.
Sure.
You know, the whole iceberg picture. And so do you expect them? No, you expect our kids and our coaches to perform the little things, the details that win those things when everything else comes together. And our coaches and our kids and our families and our community, they do those things, and that's why we get to experience the type of success we've had this year.
Fair enough. Well, we're looking forward to more success, and let's talk about a success story here.
I kind of feel like you should have been taking notes in that monologue. Were you taking notes?
I enjoyed it. I was a viewer and a listener for that monologue because those good monologues from Peter Wagner don't come along all the time.
Every once in a while.
Right? And so hearing it was almost like I was preparing myself for battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
I used to hear him.
Like you're about to eat that turkey.
That's right. And that turkey went down incredible for Thanksgiving.
Way to take care of the details.
That's right. We take care of all the details here. And speaking of the details, we need to talk about
history,
some of the
historic
success that we've seen here at Southwest ISD. We have 2 of our leaders from the Southwest Legacy Titan tennis team in the building for this week's Scoreboard.
Historic first time
in championships.
In
Give me more adjectives. You know, I mean, this is.
I don't know. Historic seems to be the top one.
We are at the top of the mountain right now.
I'm out of synonyms.
And to be the man, you got to beat the man. And they have beat every single team that we've mentioned on this podcast that has been a absolute monster in tennis. And they win. And not only do they win a district championship, the first of Southwest ISD, they also
district championship.
Yeah, and they had to go and beat Southwest High School. It was exactly what you, as an athletic director,
what you dream of.
It's a perfect case scenario.
2 high school going against each other.
Exactly. The district as a whole was going to win.
Yeah. So SWISD was going to come out on top.
That's right. So please talk to us a little bit. Can you introduce yourself, who you are, what's your role in the team, and thank you guys for joining us today.
Hello, my name is Dante Cortez, and I'm a junior in the Titan tennis team. and I'm the number 1 boy for the team.
Hi, I'm Miranda Rosa. I'm the captain of Legacy. I'm a senior here.
Nice. I'm the captain of Legacy as a whole.
Boom.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they still got another season. It's not like football where they got to come back. Rayanne's she's a senior, but we still got spring tennis to go to.
That's true. So, Rayanne, we'll start with you a little bit. Talk to us about how much this district championship meant to you and what kind of work went into getting this district championship for you and the rest of the team.
Just a lot of hard work. I mean, the days counted for it, and like all of the practice hours. I mean, we put in a lot of time, and then that's what we got out of it.
Okay, I like that. So, talk to us a little bit about the camaraderie. How close was the team? We did a segment with you all Beyond the Arches a few weeks back. So I've met you all before, right? This isn't our first time meeting, but during that segment, we talked a little bit about kind of the camaraderie, the coaches. What have the coaches and teammates really done to make this a close-knit group and make it feel like a family?
Just be connected with each other. Yeah, we're pretty close. I mean, we don't fight, we don't argue. We always help each other out. That's how we are. We're family. And,
Yeah. All right. So, sir, talk to us about being the number 1 boy. Talk to us about that boy squad, right? We're talking to not only district champs, by district champs. We're talking about a team as a whole who went and beat really tough competition, right? We looked at that schedule. All that we talked about, Wagner and I, throughout weeks leading up to this was the Medina Valleys and the Southwest, and then seeing you guys compete, and not only compete, but beat them. Talk to us about kind of that competition. What was that competition like on that journey to this championship?
On the journey, honestly, in past years, we have not done very well for against other teams. For example, McCullum and Medina Valley, those schools were really good, and they are. But this year we were actually able to beat them for the first time, and we made really good progress in the beginning.
I love that.
And all the hard work that we put in, it was quite a lot.
Yeah, and I know, speaking with your coaches, man, they have a lot of enthusiasm about this team, right? They were excited, and not only were they excited, I had them asking, when we went to go do that video shoot with y'all, you can find on YouTube and social media and all that good stuff. I remember they kept asking, like, are you sure we're the first ones? Who told you we're the first ones? Where's this going to be in the record books? Like, they were just as competitive and as excited as you all. Talk to us about that coaching staff. What makes them special?
Honestly, they really feel like role models. Like, I can look up to both our coaches, and they're really tough on us, but we know that they love us, and that's what makes us that special team. That's why we were able to come out in first place as district champs, because they really helped us get better, and they really care about us as a team. Every single one of us.
Yeah, and so Mr. Peter Wagner, talk to us a little bit about kind of what you saw throughout this year as watching this tennis team grow and become district champs.
Well, first of all, I think what people need to understand is how far this program's come.
Yeah.
Probably 3 or 4 years ago, I don't know how long Coach Gomez has been there, but I think we had 4 kids in the program.
Yep.
And now we got close to 50. We're one of the few programs in the area that especially on the south side of town that is pretty close to running a full JV squad. Man. And so that's, I think, from the very beginning, that's a big thing. The second thing that Coach Gomez and these kids all do is they've really started to be dedicated to their craft year round, in that they're going to different tournaments outside of school. They play all summer in different not really club tournaments, because it's not the same thing in tennis club, but they're playing in outside tournaments. I know there's probably 5 or 6 of you guys that went to Uvalde and doing that. They're playing tougher schedules. They played Taft. They beat Taft. They beat Wagner. They beat a couple others, and then the juggernaut that a small school, but Divine's a really good tennis school. And played with them, played a really close match with them, and so I think that was the only loss, other than to Cedar Park. I think those are the only 2 losses we had in team tennis, was Divine and Cedar Park.
Wow.
And so, so just the growth of the program, that a lot of credit goes to Coach Gomez, and then these kids. The other thing I want to brag on, especially these 2. about is, when we talk about the Warrior program, Rayanne's winning the Warrior program at Legacy right now, and it's not close.
Yeah. Well, she did say she's the captain.
She
of
is,
Legacy.
and so technically she is the captain of Legacy. And they're both huge in our student athlete leadership on our student athlete leadership team, and doing a lot of things. They're leaders in that, and so it's not just the tennis. They're leaders in the school. Great advocates for everything that goes on there, and so but that's why they're successful on the tennis court, because they see it as a growth mindset in terms of, I'm going to play good people and I'm going to get better doing it. Yep. Sometimes I may not win, but I'm going to learn from it and get better and move forward and everything. And Rayanne's pointing at herself right now, but that's a lot of the things we talk about in our growth challenges, and that's a lot of the things we talk about in the Warrior program as well. And they bring that, they personify that, which is a lot of what we're talking about in all of our athletes. And so I really appreciate their efforts and everything that they do. But the program as a whole has really matured, and I think is just going to continue to grow to where, I know Coach Gomez's idea is not, and really Coach Arceo's is not, hey, it's nice to go over there and beat the SAISD teams, which I don't know that we lost a set against in the by-district match and everything, and so
that alone is already impressive.
Yeah. But so the next, it's kind of like, when we talked about Southwest Volleyball and everybody else, it's like, okay, the next step is kind of where soccer's at, where we compete with Cedar Park, where we compete with the next level of teams, and how do we get there? And there's a big step to take there that's going to involve a lot of commitment from both coaches and kids and things like that. But that's the next step, and that's a pretty good step to be sitting at.
Sure. And talking about next steps, Dante, talk to us about being that you're I think you said you were a junior, looking towards next year. What's the expectation for yourself and your team? Have you guys talked about, like, hey, now we felt what this feels like, we want it again? What do you think is going to be the preparation going into the summer and going into the season again next year?
Well, for the team, we have very high expectations this season and for my next year, my senior year. I'm really hoping, of course, to win district again. Mm-hmm. That is the goal, to go undefeated again. And not only that, but we also want to win by district, and hopefully we want to go to regionals. And
nice.
The main goal is state.
Yeah.
As a team, for team tennis, it's really nice to be able to compete as a team, and we have really high expectations right now because we want to be better every year and get better every year.
I love it. I love it.
And for myself, well, this next season, definitely want to be district champ as well, whether it is singles or doubles. But I definitely want to go to regionals like we did last year for mixed doubles, because we had 2 teams go to mixed doubles regionals. And I was one of them, mixed doubles. It felt really nice to be able to compete at that level. Yeah. Oh, and Rayanne was too, actually. Yeah. We both competed in mixed doubles. And it was really nice to be able to go up there, compete with really, really high-level tennis players all around Texas, and it's really nice.
Awesome. And so, Rayanne, as a senior, you've cemented a spot in history now, your senior year. What does that feel like? And then talk to us about how much the school and the student body and teachers supported you all throughout all this and celebrated you all for your victory.
It feels good, just to be reminded that, like, I was a part of that.
Yeah.
For the teachers and all them, always got like, oh, good job, good luck, good luck on your game. And so I just remember, like, there's people that actually know about me, or there's people that know about us. And, like, as we got more and more undefeated, we hear ourselves on the announcements, and, like, it's like, dang, like, that's good. Like, we want more of that. And so every day, every morning, we hear that announcements. We look forward to the next time, the next morning that we hear it.
Yeah. No, and that's a great point. And I think looking at things, tennis as a whole, not many people know the hard work that goes into tennis. Not many people know the practice that goes into tennis. Not many people know the tough execution that goes into being a good tennis team and being a good tennis player in general. Talk to us about a little bit, Rayanne. You mentioned it, getting that recognition. Do you think you've put tennis on the Southwest ISD map now? Do you think people are starting to go into not only know about tennis but want to be more involved that maybe didn't know about tennis before? Do you think this helps that?
Yeah, I definitely. We've seen a lot of people like freshmen next year. We got like a lot of people coming in, and I think it's because of the recognition that we have. People are like, oh, like they see us and they're like, oh, I want to be them.
There's Rayanne. There's the captain of Southwest Legacy right there. Yeah. You're the celebrity there at Southwest ISD. Yeah. So, Dante, talk to us too about looking forward to the future and stuff. Where do you guys grow from here, right? Like, I mean, you mentioned states to goal, but as far as having a goal and then also seeing growth, whether you meet that or not, what do you think would be a good growth for you all and the younger generation coming up? Because Rayanne's a senior now, right? These senior leaderships is going to be moving forward, and then you're going to become the leader already. Now you're a leader right now as a junior. You take that next step as a senior. What do you think would be good growth for this team? Aside from just the winning and the accolades, where do you think you guys need to grow?
Well, starting from like a couple years ago, like Coach Wagner said, we were a really small team, and we were missing a lot of players. And now that we have a full varsity team, definitely, and almost a full JV team, basically too, we could just expand from there. This year, our tryouts were the first ones where we had to actually cut people out because there were so many people that actually wanted to try out. And honestly, the more, the better.
Mm-hmm.
We always want players. We always want people to want to join our team. And we could just expand from there, getting better and putting more time in, getting better in practices. And it's good to be able to grow from there a lot.
Sure.
Just skills-wise and as a person.
Sure. And this is my last two questions for you. It's going to be the same exact questions for you both. I just want to hear both of y'all's answers if you don't mind. What has tennis taught you about life? What do you think are life lessons that you can take away from the game and take away from tennis and this team and this moment that you guys are having?
Well, for me, honestly, I think the number one lesson from tennis is never give up. You never know when you can still win. Because even if you're down love 40, for example, love 5, there's still a chance you can win. It's just up to you. And just never give up on any point. Just like in life, you should never give up. You should always keep on trying, keep on pushing, because that's what makes life worth it.
Man, Dante's setting the stage for you, Rayanne. God, man. I'll tell you what, Rayanne, hey, you're the senior. You're captain of Southwest Legacy.
That's what happens when you take notes.
That's what happens right there. That's what he heard your monologue, and he said,
I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take it another step.
That's right, exactly.
Unlike some people.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Rayanne, talk to us.
Not you, Rayanne. I'm not talking about you.
Not you, Rayanne. Talk to us about the same thing. You know, what are life lessons that you think people can learn from tennis that you're taking away from this moment, and where do you think you'll be able to use those life lessons later on in the future after high school?
Definitely what Dante said about like not giving up.
Ditto what Dante said. Yeah, there you go.
But also, just being able to have like the purest mindset, like the strongest, like that helps you in so many ways. I'm not gonna name, but I've seen so many players that if they get mad and they keep getting mad, they don't drop it and just move on. Mm-hmm. They'll get stuck there. And that's what happens in life. You get stuck if you're just stuck on that one thing. And if you don't drop that one point, or if you don't drop that one situation, it's just going to keep coming and coming. And you're going to be stuck in that moment. And if you get stuck in the moment, obviously, you're going to lose. And so you need to have that pure mindset to drive forward, push through it, no matter how annoying it was. You gotta push through it. And like just in life, like as I get out of this high school the high school life, I'm gonna have a lot of situations where I need to just push through it and grow up, and I have to. Like that's what it is. That's what tennis has taught me.
Man, well, looks like we might have lost jobs this podcast,
right? I'm like mic drop.
Yeah, they're taking over it all.
Right?
Those are great answers. And both are well thought out. Both, I think, Mr. Wagner and I both agree with. It's great to hear that you're taking something away from tennis. Obviously, Rand, you're moving on, but you're still always going to be cemented in the legacy of Southwest Legacy.
She left her legacy.
That's what I'm talking about. And then, looking forward, I think Southwest Legacy tennis is going to be talked about a lot on this podcast, a lot through this district, especially going into next year. It is tough because, as Wagner and I both know, We don't ever put expectations out there on this podcast. But now that you've done it.
I mean, sometimes we
do. But now that you've done it, obviously there is that almost, I wouldn't say expectation, but that excitement for this program. And so I think we look forward to seeing where tennis goes in the future.
I mean, I feel like Chief Palomo,
he
and
does.
I feel like we all fully expect that Juan Romero and the Southwest Dragons are going to win the state championship.
Yeah, we do put a lot of pressure there.
That's not actually true, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, you heard it from your athletic director, from his mouth. That was not a Brandon Medina quote. I just want to make sure that.
I think that Chief Palomo told me that. No, I'm just kidding.
But we thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Rand. Thank you, Dante, for joining us on today's show. We really appreciate it. Mr. Wagner, any last words for Southwest ISD?
You know, we're really proud of you guys. I think that we talked about tennis a lot, and I think that it was brought up about, as an athletic director, but in athletics at Southwest ISD, and I've said this. We talked. We had a meeting with our kids about the Warrior program a little bit, where we brought everybody, all of our athletes in the CCR at both schools, and something that I think is important that there's a lot of narrative in Texas. It's about, in Texas we play football, but what I was trying to tell our kids is we need to understand that there's as much effort put in all of these other sports as there is in football, and we need to start leaving that narrative to the side and understanding that number one, kids or even as adults, our worth is not derived from the scoreboard. Yep. It's derived from the efforts and from your efforts and the things that you do in the process that might bring those results to fruition. But we also, and as we keep talking about our Warrior program, but it's not really our Warrior program as much as all of us need to understand that, the biggest thing in life is that you need to feel included. Like, that when we the idea of our spirit events is that this year we started to where everybody gets a spirit event, that we want all of our kids and our campuses to go to that event so that those kids feel seen, that those kids know that their efforts are validated by others. It shouldn't matter, but we know it feels good, and that's how we create an environment where people feel safe to really give everything they have, and that's where success comes. And that's what we're trying to get across with all of the things that we do, that tennis is not just this side sport. Tennis is a sport where Dante and Brian and Rayanne and so many others, they all feel like I'm important, that this thing is important, that the work I put in is appreciated, and it is. And that's what we're trying to get to, because when we do that, then all of us are successful.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, looking at things to kind of piggyback off of that, football is a very popular sport in Texas. Basketball, soccer, all these sports are very popular in Texas.
In the nation, let's just be honest.
Not all of them are winning district championships.
No.
Not all of them are winning by-district championships.
Correct.
And not all of them are beating their own school in Southwest ISD for that championship.
Correct.
Tennis is, by itself, as we stand now, as being the only ones to make that feat this year.
I think we've won 2 district championships in Southwest ISD in the fall. That'd be the Southwest Dragons volleyball team and the Southwest Legacy.
But to go against each other, that's tennis alone.
That's all tennis
alone.
That's
all tennis alone.
Tennis, Southwest ISD tennis doing all right this year.
I'm telling you what, Southwest ISD is a tennis school, baby. Let's
go.
We're locked in. We're locked in.
Andre Agassi.
That's what I'm talking about. We are locked in, but we appreciate the tennis team for joining us
Steffi
from Southwest Legacy. Look,
Monica Sellis.
He's reading Wikipedia as we speak, but we appreciate.
But I'm reading.
But I'm reading. Hey, we appreciate you all. This is another episode of Scoreboard. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Medina. That is Peter Wagner for the Southwest Legacy Championship Tennis Team and Scoreboard. As always, we are
Southwest.